Hello, everyone, and welcome to another community call. This is Wednesday, 10 of January of 2024. And today, we have a special guest. I will maybe let Jean to make the introduction. So, Jean, please, you can go ahead.
We have a developer that joined the team that has been a part of Kleros for I believe since the beginning, basically, and probably most of you know him already and are familiar with his work. So, well, he just joined. So, Santiago Coqui is joining us, and I'm pretty excited about it because he's already very familiar with Kleros, and he was one of the persons that actually explained Kleros to me a lot of the times when I had questions about it, because he was very active in the proof of humanity community. So I don't know, Koki, if you want to say something.
Yeah, well, welcome. Some applause for Koki. Welcome to Kleros, the one and only developer of the Kleros board, or Koki board, as we know it internally. Yeah, so welcome, Koki, and tell us a bit about you, about your story, and what excites you about joining the team.
So he said his mic is not working, so maybe later in the call.
Okay, no problem. We can start by different. So I mentioned before the recording started that next week we're going to do the community call on Twitter Spaces. As you know, we are experimenting with different formats and trying to reach different audiences. We still keep doing the Telegram community calls, even if there are not that many announcements to be done on a weekly basis. But it's also a space for people to interact with the team, ask questions. So it's still valuable to have this space, but we also are going to be like some wider and broader call on maybe once a month on Twitter, so we can reach a different audience and more people. So yeah, that's something we also are planning. So next week, no call here on Telegram. It's going to be on Twitter. Let's see if the mic is working now, Koki.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, I think that most of the community members already know me, at least by Telegram, or because they are interacted with the Kleros board. So since this Monday, I'm in the role of a backend developer, the Kleros team, and it's an honor to me to be part of this amazing team. I'm in this community since I think it's 4 or 5 years ago. So I have been there in a lot of events in this community, and it's amazing to me to be part now and collaborate inside the team.
Yeah, I actually think that you were you spoke at the conference we did in Spanish, like when COVID was starting.
the right? First Kleros Spanish conference.
Yeah, that was, I don't even remember, maybe 4 years ago. That was when COVID was starting. So welcome. I'm sure that the community will really appreciate this, and also this helps make our football team stronger for the coming tournaments that we are going to face soon. So that's also an important thing to have in mind. You know, it's important that Kleros keeps winning all of the football tournaments. I'm sad to announce that Jean is going to be leaving the football team because he's the only Brazilian who cannot play football, unfortunately. I know, Jean, if you want to comment something.
I'll be training during the summer to at least have a position in the bench.
He will move to coach, you know. Yeah. No, I mean, whoever is at the best shape will play. I mean, this is meritocratic, you know. So yeah, if you train hard and get to, you can play, of course.
We can almost make 2 teams now if we the full team.
Good. So, well, let's do some update about things that went this week. The most important thing, as you know, is the release of the testnet. This is the release on the Sepolia testnet, and what you are seeing now is quite close to, I mean, almost the final product in terms of the interface. There are some things to fix. There are some bugs. Remember, this is still a testnet, but the experience is quite similar to what is going to be the final one. And we are, of course, still receiving bug reports and fixing interface problems. And then what's going to happen is that we will have, well, as you know, code audit programs. So these are smart contracts that need to be audited to make sure that they do what they are supposed to do and that there are no vulnerabilities in the code. After that, we are ready to go to the big event that we call the big Kleros merge. It's a situation where you will have at the beginning the Kurt 1.0 and 2.0 in parallel for a while until we are confident that the 2.0 is working as intended. And then 2.0 is going to replace the 1.0, which is going to be deprecated and probably sent to a computer history museum where it will belong after it's replaced. So, well, very important moment for Kleros because it is the result of a lot of work. The Kurt 2.0 took a lot of time, but it's because it was basically rebuilt from scratch and it incorporates a lot of improvements. It's going to be built on a roll-up, so it's cheaper. It's going to be able to address like lower value cases. And then we're going to start adding a number of modules that will add new functionalities to address different new use cases. Some of them need the use of SBTs for gated courts. Others might require different voting systems, one person, one vote. Well, different use cases require sometimes different mechanisms, and so this is going to be addressed by this new court, and we expect this to enable use cases that were not possible before. I'm not going to go too much into this because I already mentioned this sometimes, and I'm going to speak a bit more about this next week in the Twitter Spaces call, where we will have people who are not that familiar with Kleros, and they will want to hear this. So, I'm going to stop here about these features. Let me go now to William to give his update. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so in research, we're continuing to explore the various ways we can use the modularity of the new court to have different kinds of dispute kits for, as Federico says, apply to different kinds of use cases. So something that we've learned in our years of research, and really based on, like the decades of social history, like social choice theory research that has preceded us, is that like voting systems and incentive systems always have trade-offs. Some, like there's no perfect voting system, and like different applications will be more, have like some systems be more or less appropriate, and maybe in like different kinds of Kleros use cases, like you have different sorts of trade-offs. So, for example, a lot of something I've been thinking about a lot recently is how to adapt mechanisms from the peer prediction literature into dispute kits that can be used, particularly in sort of early rounds of cases. And their sort of big drawback is they're not super resistant to 51% style attacks. But if you're in like the first round of a case, maybe you don't care about that. And as long as you can appeal and have something more attack resistant, then that's okay. And like these things in exchange can give you like better sensitivity to being able to handle cases where maybe there's like a really strong a priori probability that like one side is going to win. For example, if you have some use case where, like you have a dispute between a freelancer and a small business owner, and the freelancer wins 98% of the time, how do you incentivize people to actually take the effort to look and vote in the case, not just always vote for the freelancer? And in V1, our solution to this is to have basically large vote stakes, so that people are like forced to they would lose a large vote stake if they don't vote coherently. And that means that, even if they can just gain like a little bit of extra edge by analyzing the case, they have like a little more certainty that it's the freelancer or could be the small business owner that's correct. Then they can, they gain from getting that edge relative to the effort they make. But it's not great to have large deposits. So what other systems can you have? So I've been thinking about that, continuing our research on SPTs, lots of ways that we can explore this sort of modularity for like different kinds of voting systems and different kinds of applications.
Yeah, as you know, well, we are all the time researching different types of systems for voting. So, I mean, this week I was reviewing some old notes, and since William mentioned about this thing about biases, people, jurors siding with for example, the freelancer or the client. I was reading this week. There is this author called John Elster. He's a political scientist, and he's specialized in doing research about voting systems. And he did a very comprehensive review of different voting systems throughout history. Some of them are voting systems for like democratic elections. What do you want to do for aggregating preferences? Like you want to have like secret votes or public votes. So there are different trade-offs in all of these situations. And one of the situations that I was reading today is there was this thing in France in the 19th century, they had these jurors, this justice system based on jurors, and it was made on based on lay persons, people who are not experts in law. They are not lawyers, they are not judges, and they sided with one particular side all the time in some type of case. I think it was cases about freedom of expression or something like that. And then what they did, they added professional judges into the deliberations, and then this corrected the bias that jurors had on siding with the party that was making the claim. I don't remember. I will share this later if you want. So all of these different things that we do research all the time. So it's about how can we improve Kleros system for having better decisions. So this was an example. William reminded me of that. I will share that with you, William, because that book has so many things that you could use for the research. And also because they use real examples of political systems and different use cases. So yeah, I'm going to send you that later. So yeah, we have that. So let's go now to maybe Alex, anything from you to update?
Yes, basically on the DAO side, as I mentioned last week, we have a new integration, so we are working on it. It's a block-up DAO. Basically, it's a venture capital DAO, mostly a French-speaking one. So basically, they want to do a specific design where they will do their investment proposal using the Zodiac snapshot, Kleros snapshot module. So yes, we are reviewing that, and the goal is to help them to deploy the tech. So we're also doing some specific DAO requirements, guidelines, and I've started to talk about that with Facundo, that is our expert about policy writing. So that's one topic, and the other topic I'm also talking with different websites and projects that are referencing DAO that are very interesting. One is DAO based, for instance. It allows you to have all the DAO data in the one place. That is very convenient because you have the you have the forum in one side, then you have the website, then you have the snapshot, then you have sometimes the Discord. So here you have all the information about the DAO in one place, and there are some partners in there. So basically, yes, the goal is to really push the Zodiac module in this kind of ecosystem to have more integrations going on. So yeah, that's it from my side for the DAO space.
Cool. I think that we can also mention something that happened near the end of last year, and that was, I mean, that's something that shows how important this type of products that we have in order to prevent governance attacks. There was someone, so as you know, we have a proof of humanity DAO that has some funds that were given by the cooperative when we started proof of humanity, and those funds were into the DAO. And then, as you know, the drama and everything you already know, and so kind of those funds stay there. And by the end of last year, it was detected that someone made a transaction, a malicious transaction, to ask the DAO to send the funds to another, basically to steal the funds that were held in the DAO. And that was discovered by a member of the community, and that person challenged that submission, and it was blocked, and that person earned some money by doing that. So this is important to show how important these use cases are for Kleros. You know, Kleros it helped actually to prevent people stealing from the Proof of Humanity DAO. I think it was around $100,000. So maybe Alex, you want to promote a bit our services with
I can add a little bit of context. Yes, as you explained it very well. The fact with proof of humanity, it's very important to understand that it is a real DAO, because a lot of DAO now are pretending to be DAO, but at the end it's like just multi-sig, and this is not the case for proof of humanity. So basically, anybody can propose some transaction list to be executed to the Kleros governor. But those transactions should reflect the reality of the governance. And this guy, what he did, it was definitely an attack. He was trying to steal 46 ETH, so the money controlled by the DAO. And yes, as you say, basically we have at the same time a community that is very looking carefully at stuff. Plus, also it's worth mentioning that there are notification systems, and this is exactly the same with the Zodiac module, that should be well set up. And as soon as like a proposal to execute some transaction by those construct is made, some notifications appear, and then the people can respond and act as guardians to protect the DAOs. And the very interesting part, as you said, is the fact that basically the attackers, they are playing a game, and at the end they are losing money. So I think it's great to have this setup, and yes, it shows how strong and powerful Kleros is to really decentralized organization, and not having only multi-sig as it is often the case.
Yeah, in this case, it worked beautifully and complied with what they had to do. So it was great, great validation of the product. So super happy that it ended up well. So yeah, that's going to be good for you to go out sell, the solution. So great.
Yes, definitely. And we will do a thread as well. I think Jean has worked on that at some point. With the Kleros accounts, giving even more information to the community about it.
Yes, I'm finishing the thread, and hopefully we can write that detailed blog post, because I'm sure that it will be like used as a reference for many people that are studying DAO attacks and these mechanisms. And I really had a couple of questions from the community saying, but do you really think that if there's an attack, someone will see it and make a challenge? Because it did not happen before, right? So I think it's great that we now have the answer that indeed there are people looking at the government ready to stop an attack.
I mean, it's easy to see that there was a transaction made asking something to the governor, right? So then it's about comparing if the transaction that is sent is trying to execute an action that was decided by the governance, or if it's an illegal action, as we would say in the traditional world, let's say. So yeah, I mean, in this case, it was clearly a illegal action. It was something that nobody in the governance of the Proof of Humanity asked for those funds to be transferred to that account. So it was blocked by. It's like it's like what's happening, in some countries where you have someone trying to do some governance action, and the courts go and block that action, and then they cannot proceed with that. And it's happening in lots of countries, for example, Argentina. So this is kind of that, but on chain is what this product is doing, and it worked. So yeah, was super nice validation. Let's go now to business development and with Marcos.
Hey, how are you? So this week from the BD team, there are not too many updates, as I said last week, and this in January we don't used to contact too many projects because most people is vacations, but we are mostly working on research. Each one is working in their own specific product. In my case, I'm working in research with exchanges and Web2 companies. But yeah, most probably next week we are going to have some updates.
Yeah, and well, I mean, I know you guys want to have more lemon cases, but it's a bit slow on that area because of vacations, and we expect soon this to continue, and we are very much focused now our research on esports gaming. We are organizing a conference in May in Switzerland about this. I mean, we want to gather a community of lawyers which are specializing in gaming platforms and esports, tournaments. There are lots of disputes happening because of copyright infringement, because of cheating, and this is a work we have been doing together with the people from the WIPO. We did a podcast in Spanish by, I think it was like near December 15, and this is kind of a continuation of that work. And we also had this week also a conversation with a team that is building Web3 games and see how we can integrate Kleros there, because we do think this is a growing market and it's going to be very important. We knew this since the beginning of the project. If you see, I think in the first white paper we published, there was something about gaming, and so we knew this. It was just waiting for the industry to mature a bit and get some more traction. But yeah, this is, I think, starting to happen now. Let me see. Do we have anything else, Jean, for today that we want to mention?
Yeah, I just wanted to share that, well, of course, we have the new testnet version on Arbitrum Sepolia. And if you don't have if you don't have ETH on the network, you can DM me. I can send it to you, because some faucets are not working. And also, you can go to the courts page, and there's a claim PMK button there. And also, the dev team has been working on a dispute resolver directly integrated on the front end of the courts, which makes it really easy to create a dispute. And I tried this on the DevNet, and it's already created a really fun dispute. I hope the devs put it on the testnet dispute as well. And it takes basically 2 minutes to create a dispute. And I'm curious to see people adopting this. And also, there's updates on the escrow v2, which is looking pretty good as well. So yeah, I think, and we are discussing the renewal of the program, of the Kleros Curate program. We are basically planning to redo for this month the same program that we had for the last 3 months. But for the next month, we are thinking about making some changes. But of course, we will communicate this on the chats and Twitter.
Yeah, so just to mention a bit more, so escrow 2.0 is going to be, well, the replacement of the current escrow. The current escrow is actually the first app we developed after the court, and it's very old. I mean, all of the architecture of that app is super old, and sometimes it doesn't work very well because some parts were deprecated. But so escrow 2.0 is replacing that. It's adapted to the new tools that were created in the last years to develop on Web3. And this is part of also us replacing or renewing a bunch of products that we developed in the early days and that are to be deprecated. So that we have the escrow 2.0. Then we are also making very big progress in the proof of humanity 2.0. This is proof of humanity. This is a new version. This is way better than the previous one in the sense it's more reliable, faster, cheaper. Some of the problems with the previous proof of humanity was quite expensive to use, in particular for small transactions. So this new one is way cheaper. We are renewing the policy to try to remove a bunch of controversial situations where people got challenged because of trivial stuff that didn't make the system more secure. A bunch of improvements that we learned through experience and that are going to be incorporated in this new version. It's going to be launched. We still don't have a date to launch that, but it's coming, and I think it can be tested, right, Jean? It's for people who want to test Proof of Humanity 2.0. There is a tested now?
Yes, there's already a demo that's working. It also has a new policy that Facundo will be working on improving. But yeah, it's already working on the testing.
Yeah, so this is part of the work we are doing of renewing all of our fleet, let's say, of products. So yeah, I guess that's it for today. I will just let the final words in the hands of Koki, whom I also want to welcome him again, and super happy to have him in the team. So yeah, Koki, you can close this community call yourself, please. If you are there.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
I think the closing word is basically it begins.
There you go. I mean, truer words have never been said. Well, guys, thank you very much. Well, see you on Telegram. Bye-bye.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.